Tonight, only on HAPPENING.fun. We are attractions. We are casino events. We are nightlife. We are festivals. We are concerts. We are Florida events. We are movies. We are sports. We are live performance. With your host, Napoleon Plays. With your moderator, Al Ferguson. Celebrities and interviews. Billy Joel at Hard Rock Live. Aaron Lewis at the Fillmore. Let's plan ahead. Oprah's 2020 vision. The 10 Tenors at Parker Playhouse. Out and about. Entertainers showcase and holiday toy drive. City of Wilton Manors yard sale. Around Florida. SeaWorld's Christmas celebration. Universal's holiday parade featuring Macy's. The Fun 5. Miami City Ballet. The Nutcracker. Seminole Hard Rock Winterfest Boat Parade. It's all happening tonight on South Florida's most popular live source for things to fun. Only on HAPPENING.fun.
Well, good evening, South Florida. I'm Al Ferguson, and I'm here with my broadcast partner, Napoleon Plays.
Howdy, everybody.
We are here Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, means it's happening.fun.
Woo!
We are entering the holiday season, and we're going to tell you tonight the best things to fun this week. Now, first off, Napoleon, you're looking so dapper here. Why did you ignore the memo of the ugly Christmas sweater?
Is that not just how you dress every day?
It is not, dude. It is not. And I feel a little awkward. You're dressed like this. You know I've got good clothes, too.
I know that you say you do,
Yeah, well,
but I mean, how they look.
Robert Graham, Gucci,
Yeah, but it's all about how you wear the clothes. It's not about the clothes themselves. You got to have the confidence.
Well, South Florida, we welcome you to another edition of Happening.fun.
Yeah.
As I told you, this is my partner and lifestyle expert, Napoleon Plays, and we're going to tell you about the fun things to do this week for the week of December 14th here in South Florida. First off, we're broadcasting from a great restaurant. Big applause. This is a live audience here at Bubbles and Pearls. And our friends here at Bubbles and Pearls, this great restaurant with Chef Josie, right here over my shoulder on Wilton Drive in Central Broward, Fort Lauderdale. Here in Wilton Manor.
Everyone is eating oysters around us. It looks like a really good party.
And Chef Josie, very well known for her participation in all kinds of reality television shows. A friend of mine. She's not really a friend of yours.
Well, she's becoming a friend of mine. I mean, at the very least, she makes really good food.
Exactly. All right. Well, we're coming tonight from Bubbles and Pearls, and we're going to tell you many of the fun things to do.
That's right. And
we want to remind you.
That's right.
Sorry.
Everything is live, so we can talk over each other. We can shut Al up if needed. We're going to have a good time here live. And if you have an event, a festival, or anything else that you want to see featured on our show, please remember to submit at happening.fun.
That's exactly right. Things to fun this week on happening.fun. We thank you, South Florida. As many as 20,000 of you have watched this live show. There is nothing like it in South Florida. Everything you see is pre-recorded except happening.fun. And we're telling you everything that is fun to do this week.
That's right. So please make sure to like, start a watch party, subscribe. And if you want to start a watch party, we know you do. Whoops, there you go. We've got a little video to help you out.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Watch this.
When viewing our live show in your app, please click share. On the next screen, you can write text to your viewing audience and then click Start Watch Party. You've done it. Enjoy your party.
Well, it's that simple, South Florida, and we hope you'll share us and with your friends that want to know interesting things to do. We're going to talk about all kinds of interesting things to do this week for the week of December 14th.
Go out and see them in real life. Find them here and go out and meet them at these events.
Yeah, did you read that on a napkin someplace? Because it sounded kind of like something you would get in a fortune cookie or something.
I feel like we just went back to something I can't even understand the reference of, like napkins. You just write a phone number in a phone.
Okay, all right. That was a millennial joke.
I feel
all
like
right,
you're making
laugh
a
along with the
fortune
millennials.
cookies.
All right. Before we start, let us thank our presenting sponsor. Our presenting sponsor that makes Happening.fun possible is Barbara Warren Aaron Lowley, immigration attorney here in South Florida, for all of your legal needs, especially focusing on immigration. Absolutely a national name living and operating right here in South Florida.
So let's get into the fun.
All right. So the show is broken down into 5 segments. Now, we tell you about different kinds of things that we can do, that we recommend this week in these 5 segments. The first is celebrities and interviews related to them.
Ooh.
Celebrities and interviews, and we remind you, are you a producer or an event organizer that brings celebrities into South Florida? More celebrities come into South Florida than almost any place in the world. We might as well be New York or Los Angeles.
True. So come here, submit to us, and make sure that we can talk about what you're doing.
That's right. And let's talk about the 2 big celebrity events that we want to talk about this week. Number 2, at the Fillmore in Miami Beach is Aaron Lewis. Aaron Lewis is coming on December 12th, 8 p.m. at the Fillmore. I love that location in South Beach. It's not too small. It's not too big. Very intimate. You a fan of Aaron Lewis?
I'm not someone that has known him too much before. I know of Stained. I know a little bit that this is his 3rd album. I was looking at his 3rd solo album, and it's The State I'm In, which is the name of the tour as well. And so there's a lot of feel, like you said, intimate for it that you don't get in a lot of other situations. You can go in, you can really feel the music live from it. Have you been a fan of Stained for a long time?
To be honest with you, I'm not. All of us have preferences in the genre of music that we want, but we know many of our listeners and our viewers here in South Florida are big fans of this kind of genre,
That's true.
And they'll follow
And
Aaron
one of the
Lewis.
things I learned about him is that his parents were hippies, and that influenced a lot of why he got into music in the first place. And I can definitely relate to that. My parents were hippies too.
I'm a little shocked that you know what a hippie is and you are related to hippies.
I went back to Woodstock. That's right, like for the second Woodstock, the one that wasn't talked about very much. I went back there. I have memories of the big balloons and bubbles and games and colors.
Dude,
I was really a kid.
I don't even know who you are. That brings us to in celebrities and
That's
interviews.
right. Our number 1 in celebrities and interviews is Billy Joel at the Hard Rock
Now
Live.
we're talking my generation.
He might be your generation, but his music has lasted through the ages. I found Billy Joel when I was in college. He had existed, obviously, before that, but that was when I started to really connect to his music. I found all of his songs from New York, the bipolarity, everything about him really started to connect with me, and his music just sang.
It's funny. From my perspective, Billy Joel's music is absolutely sexy. Now, of course, there's Uptown Girl, but his melody, the melody of the East Side and down the West Side. Oh man, that is real music.
Every
Billy
time
Joel.
I hear him, I think of New York. And he is going to be at the Hard Rock Live in Hollywood on January 10th at 8 p.m.
And I have to do a plug for Seminole Hard Rock. I was just taken by a very good friend to Seminole Hard Rock. I've stayed there 2 nights as a guest there.
Already,
They
just
showed
opened.
me. And, just opened the Guitar Hotel. It is an amazing facility, and had dinner in their council, Oaks restaurant, incredible. Go to the brand new 7,000-seat Hard Rock Live right in the middle of the Seminole Hard Rock.
In our next segment, we have a little something for people like me who aren't as good at putting things into a planner. And we call this section, Let's Plan Ahead.
And right, you have to plan ahead, Napoleon, because that's the only way you can get good tickets.
That's right, or else you will miss out on everything. You might not even go.
Here's an example of it. Our number, and we remind you in Let's Plan Ahead, if you plan events and you're an event promoter, a producer, a theater, contact HAPPENING.fun,
Submit
and
at
we'll
HAPPENING.fun.
consider including you in HAPPENING.fun. Our number 2 Let's Plan Ahead event this week is the 10 Tenors. The 10 Tenors are going to be at the Parker Playhouse here in Fort Lauderdale, and it is on December 19th at 8 p.m. Now, the 10 Tenors is an amazing event. If you like Placido Domingo, you probably don't even know who that is.
Oh, no, I don't, actually.
How about
I thought you
Andrea
were mentioning
Bocelli?
yeah, I thought that was a song that you were just describing.
No. 3 of the most famous tenors in the world got together and did the most famous male operatic voice album in history. And the Ten Tenors formed out of that. El Divo is another group like them.
I do know that,
And
yeah.
the Ten Tenors are principally Italian classical music that come together. Very motivational, very beautiful.
But they're fully Australian, right? Isn't that so? They
Exactly
add a
right.
little extra flair.
That's
outside of
right.
the States.
That's right. You like Australian accents, do you?
Well, I know that your phone is an Australian accent.
is.
And I like Australian accents too. There's just something about it that feels friendly and enticing and exciting.
My Siri speaks Australian, and I have friends that are very jealous of my Siri Australian
I know
phone.
you got it privately recorded for
Exactly.
yourself.
The Ten Tenors are going to be, as we said, at the Parker Playhouse, and that is December 19th at 8 p.m.
And
which brings us to the big name of Plan
That's right.
Ahead.
A very big name. Number one in our Let's Plan Ahead is Oprah. Oprah's 2020 vision, Your Life in Focus, comes to the BB&T Center on January 9th. Now, if I have to explain who Oprah is to you, I don't even know how you found the internet, because Oprah is one of those names. There's no last name that you need at all. It is Oprah. And while she may not have her
Billionaire Oprah.
Actual billionaire Oprah, that's right. And while we may not see her on TV every week anymore, every day like we used to with her talk show.
The Oprah Television Network.
That's
We
right.
want to be on it,
yes,
don't we?
we do.
Oprah.
But she is still making headway. She does so many good things for the community at large in the world. And one of those things is this tour, in fact. It is a tour all about helping everybody that goes out to see it improve their life. And it's a 2020 idea, a 2020 theme, all about wellness. How can you be better for yourself?
Yeah, it's called Your Life in Focus. And the entire thing is a motivational experience led by Oprah. And she has lots of guests coming in to help support her plan of Your Life in Focus. And if you don't think Oprah is a big deal, by the way, Oprah is a big deal. One of the many friends she's bringing into the BB&T Center is Lady Gaga.
Oh, that's right.
She is going to be
Gail.
other than Gail, right? Lady Gaga is going to be present and do a motivational thing, and many stars are going to participate from
all about
politics,
power.
news, and entertainment.
That's right. So
And
go out
that
there and
is
see
the
Oprah.
#1 event. And tell us again where it's going to be and when.
It is going to be at the BB&T Center on January 4th at 9 a.m. So you have the whole day to get with people that you can bond with and grow together.
That's right. Make a New Year's resolution and start it with Oprah.
Her tour
Oh my
starts here in
gosh.
Fort Lauderdale.
I
Isn't
know.
that really cool?
It's our first event and nationally in her tour. That brings us, before we move into our next segment, we want to tell you about one of our sponsors tonight, and we thank them very much. It is called 1 Million Friends of Madison, and they are a custom graphic T-shirt design company here in South Florida. They do fantastic custom design T-shirts, and we're showing you one example of it called Just Save It, and lots of planet-friendly images in a shirt that they do. If you are a group or an organization or a business that wants to create branding for your image, 1 Million Friends of Madison is a great way to do it. We are putting up a slide on how you can contact them to do that, and we thank them very much for being a sponsor of HAPPENING.fun. That leads us into our third and next segment tonight, which is called Out and About. Now, Napoleon, I think you know this because we've talked about it before, but Out and About reflects the entertainment and activities of fun, thanks to fun, of the gay community in South Florida, which is one of the largest in the United States.
And you don't have to be a part of the LGBTQ community to enjoy the entertainment that comes from it, because there are a lot of people that come here specifically cater to it for everybody.
That's exactly right. And a perfect example is our two big events for Out and About. Number 2 this week is the toy drive at HG Roosters. Now, HG Roosters, many of you in South Florida might not be familiar with this. This is an institutional gay bar name in West Palm Beach. And on December 14th at 10 p.m., they're going to do their annual Entertainers Showcase and Holiday Toy Drive. It is a perfect example of how the gay community helps children in a service and social event.
Through what the service is, like you said, a lot of that is entertainment from LGBTQ. And this is a little haven amidst the entire community in Palm Beach, because there's nothing else like this location all around it. So it's really good to see that they do a lot of work for the community.
That's exactly right. And Roosters is lesser known for the gay community in Dade and Broward County because it's in Palm Beach, but it is the legacy name of a gay bar in Palm Beach County. And that's number
right.
2 this week, the Toy Drive at HD Roosters.
And number 1 in our Out and About section is the City of Wilton Manors Christmas Yard Sale. Now, this is going to be on December 14th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now, we were discussing before, Wilton Manors is the gayest place on planet Earth. And what's important about that is that it is not just self-contained. It is a community that is all about giving back to the community, whether that be LGBTQ plus or anything else. Right now, we're seeing some slides of Wilton Manors right across the street from us, City Hall, across from Bubbles and Pearls, and they make a concerted effort to make sure everybody can feel welcome.
You know, it's funny. Of course, you know Napoleon. The mayor of Wilton Manors and the mayor of Fort Lauderdale have both been on our show many, many times. What's interesting to me about what Wilton Manors does is they do this unique kind of public-private event in the city of Wilton Manors of this yard sale at Christmas. It is a gay event because the community is so gay. It's a straight event. Both communities mix super well in this holiday kind of yard sale. It's kind of like an old-fashioned yard sale.
You go and buy other people's stuff, but you make friends along the way. You bring your whole family, and you never know what kind of cool gifts you could find. It's a great place to go holiday shopping.
December 14th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., right in the heart of central Broward County in the community of Wilton Manors. That brings us into our 4th segment this week of Things to Fun, and that is called Around Florida. Now, why do we do Around Florida? We do Around Florida because as much as we like South Florida, we also occasionally like to get out of South Florida.
And if you're from the north, it's not you're used to being able to just drive little bits of time and get to a new state. We don't have that in South Florida. South Florida is basically a long strip in both directions.
Don't you hate it? It takes like 9 hours to get out of our state.
Yeah, it does take a long time, but luckily,
and then even after a 9-hour drive, it only gets you to Georgia or 12 hours to Alabama, and it's like, really, this is it?
Similar, but at least there's a lot to do here in South Florida and in Florida as a whole.
Exactly.
So if you have to drive a little bit, it's okay.
Exactly. So around Florida, of course, we have the biggest entertainment mecca on the planet on our doorstep, and that is in Orlando. Yeah. So in Around Florida this week, we are number 2 Around Florida event is SeaWorld's Christmas celebration. Now, SeaWorld went through a number of years. You remember Blackfish, the documentary? I really, honestly, grew up with Shamu, the killer whale. SeaWorld has evolved so much beyond that.
They're not just about animals on show anymore. They heard the cries of the people. It is not just about how they deal with animals. In fact, a lot of what they do now are animal-themed rides. All of the coasters they're building are about being that kind of animal and moving like that. It's really a fascinating thing to do, roller coasters.
That's exactly right. And SeaWorld is a great time to visit at the holidays. Their Christmas spectacular, many special shows, millions of holiday lights. It's a great time to visit the attraction of SeaWorld. The weather is nice. It's not the peak of July and August.
Go see the penguins in the frozen section where you get to be in the Antarctic and cool off and see cute little penguins doing their thing.
That's exactly right. And that's our number 2 thing in Around Florida this week.
And number 1 in Around Florida is Universal.
Wait, are we in the same neighborhood of town?
We are. We're still up here in Orlando. So you can do both of these events back to back.
Right.
The next day, you can plan a whole trip about it.
Right.
So
and our number 1 event is?
Number 1 is Universal Studios Macy's Holiday Parade. Now, this is at Universal Studios. You guys know both of the locations, Islands of Adventure and the main location. And they already have, you may not know this, my favorite section. What is my favorite island? What do you think?
Islands of Adventure, and it's likely all of the Marvel characters.
No, it's something I think about every time I'm around you, and that is Dr. Seuss and specifically The Grinch. I love Dr. Seuss.
I walked right into that, didn't I, dude?
Did. Well, when you took
right into it.
You brought me to a really cool location when we were in Havana the other week that was basically a playground that was like Dr. Seuss. It was inspired by Chagall, by a lot of artists.
Bustos.
That's right.
The artist.
It was like living in this living sculpture garden. And that's something that I can do when I'm there. But in Florida, we can go to Universal Studios to get a little bit of a taste of all these different places.
Now, you're a New Yorker. You lived in Manhattan. There's this little parade that kicks off the holidays called
Macy's Holiday Parade.
Yeah, and when they finish that, then they move it down to Orlando. Orlando to Universal Studios.
So you get to see it live rather than having to go all the way up to the cold where they might lose the balloons, where you can't even get there.
Now, South
Get-
Florida, I do this every week. The joke never gets old for me. I entertain myself. Napoleon, New Yorker, Macy's Thanksgiving Parade watcher. Have you ever been to the Macy's Parade at Universal Studios?
I have not been to the one at Universal Studios, but have
So the answer is no.
No, but have you ever carried a Macy's balloon?
Damn
I
it.
can say yes to that.
Damn it. I've sat in a VIP seat right in front of Macy's on
So
42nd Street.
You watch everybody else do the work. That's as you sip your wine. That sounds
Right.
exactly like the operation.
Cheers, South Florida. Merry Christmas. Well, it's a great event. It's our number one thing around Florida. Universal Studios Macy's Holiday Parade. It has begun, and it operates now through December 21st.
That's right.
Perfect for the holidays.
Now,
that brings us to the most important thing that we talk about this week for December 14th. What's
That's
that?
right. On December 14th, we're talking about a new section. We're
week.
talking about the Fun 5. Now, if you guys have anything that you want to do in all of South Florida, this is your list. This is your chance and opportunity to find the Fun 5 things to fun. It is our countdown of everything we really recommend that you do. So come tune into this section every time, every week, and we'll make sure we tell you where to go. Number 5 on our Fun 5 things to do is the 35th Annual Enchanted Horse Parade. One thing you get to do in Florida to celebrate the holidays is actually be outside and enjoy being outside. And at this event, you can ride horses, you can pet them, you can play with them, and actually get an entire holiday experiences, but a little bit more equine.
You know, I love HAPPENING.fun for this exact reason. Now, we love nightlife, we love the clubs, we love the parties, we love the big events, but this is in Loxahatchee, and it is an enchanted horse parade, and don't forget, a stall decorating contest at the Casperi stable.
This is a full family event, and I know that you've ridden a horse one or two times. I do it a little bit better.
In
but
Cuba, in the Smokies, in Yosemite National Park.
You've done it in a lot of
Switzerland.
places, but how skilled are you actually at riding a horse? Can you jump on one? You control one very well?
I can't do that. But I can visit an enchanted horse parade and see the decorations of the stalls that the horses
Whether
are
you
in.
ride or just want to be near horses, there's equine therapy.
Right.
It's
This
a
is
great place to
December
go.
14th at 6 p.m. It's a really cool thing. And it's not just family friendly, of course it is, but even for me, it sounds like a cool thing to do for the holidays.
Yeah, everyone will enjoy this.
That leads us, wait, there's kind of a theme here. Another reason I love the show, we're talking about animals and animals. The number 4 fun 5 thing to do this week is manatees. Now, unique. You can see some manatees in Alabama and Louisiana. You can see it some in the West Indies, in the Caribbean. But where you see all of the manatees in the world are right here in South Florida and in Florida itself.
That's right.
And number 4 this week is the Manatee Lagoon Tour. When we get to December, what happens to our water?
It starts to get colder.
It starts to get colder. Did you know that manatees kind of become lethargic when the water gets cold? So the best way to handle their lethargic nature is to find places where the water is warmer. And interesting, for all of us here in South Florida, there is a free attraction that has just begun in West Palm Beach.
To go and see cute manatees just doing their manatee
Absolutely.
thing.
And if you can call a 2,000-pound manatee, which is among the ugliest, most beautiful animals on the planet, yes, that's what you can do. It's at the Florida Power and Light Station in West Palm Beach, and it'll operate all winter long. It is free. And what happens, Napoleon, I don't know if you know this, what happens is the discharge out of the FP&L plant in West Palm Beach is purified. Warm water comes out of the purification into a coastal canal and lagoon that warms the water, and as a result, it attracts manatees from all over the east coast of Florida. So in other words, the snowbirds come to South Florida,
They get
and
lethargic
the manatees
too. The snowbirds get lethargic too, and let's not harp on that word of
Right.
discharge. Let's put the water output.
Right.
Let's
Okay,
make
water
sure it
output.
sounds as appealing as it is with the cute manatees for.
Right. And what's really cool about this, I haven't seen this one yet in West Palm Beach, but I've seen the one in Tampa Bay, and literally you can go and see 500 manatees in one location. Literally, you walk out onto a dock and see 500 manatees in this.
I grew up in the 90s, and I can't think of manatees without thinking of a very specific Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen song that had manatees in it, a whole special that they did in an aquarium. Yeah, I'm dating myself a little
Yeah,
bit.
you're dating yourself, millennial
okay.
boy.
That's okay, it happens.
That's our number 4 Fun 5 thing to do this week, the Manatee Lagoon Tour in West Palm Beach.
That's right. And number 3 in our Fun 5 Things to Fun is Disney's Frozen Junior.
I love
Live.
Frozen.
Well, this is a good time to love Frozen because the sequel just came out.
I saw it.
Did you see it?
I saw it. It was incredible.
Well, I know that the first one was amazing. This new one, I like the music better in this new one. And if you're a
Really?
fan of Frozen, if you have kids that are a fan of Frozen, which means if you have kids, they're a fan of Frozen, then you want to come check this out. This is a performance that is put on. It's family friendly. It is put on by a younger cast. So you know that you get to go support them in the community and really see a story that you and your family already love enacted live.
And an interesting venue that's doing this called the Showtime Performing Arts Center in Boca Raton. I honestly, I continue to say this. I'm fascinated by this. You lived in Boca Raton in Palm Beach
right.
County. It fascinates me that such a small town has such a commitment to arts and entertainment.
They have so much theater up
Yeah.
in Boca. They have so many different shows that come and tour through it. And it's not just ones that you know of already, like Frozen or Shakespearean plays. They do new works. They do all sorts of different endeavors that can get you excited no matter what you like on stage.
Yeah, I haven't been to the Showtime Performing Arts Center, but I can tell you for sure, Disney's Frozen Junior Live is going to get me to Showtime. I'm really excited about seeing it.
What's next on our list?
That leads us in the Fun 5 Things to Do this week to number 2. Now, it's the holiday season. If you think of one show that is universal in almost every city in America, what show is that? That's, well, yeah, okay, now you got it. There you go. And of course, that is the Nutcracker. And the Miami City Ballet is performing the Nutcracker. It's going to be at the Adrian Arsh Center in Miami. It begins December 13th. It will run through the 22nd. Various times, we have a slide up to show you about the Miami City Ballet's The Nutcracker. For me, I'm sure you feel the same way. As a New Yorker, the Nutcracker is
Not
moment.
just as a New Yorker, to celebrate the holidays. It is the holiday tale. It is the tradition that we know as a culture to go through, to go see.
Soldiers or the Bears? Which one?
That's a difficult situation to answer right now. I'm going to go with the Bears.
The Bears? I was going to go with the Soldiers, but I'm pretty manly.
That makes me confirm that I know I chose right.
That's funny. You're not funny, dude. The Nutcracker, presented by the Miami City Ballet, is a must-see for the Christmas holiday season here in South Florida.
Whether you've seen it before or never before, come bring your
That's
family.
right.
Have an
Again,
incredible
at the
time.
Adrian Arsh Center in Miami, December 13th to December 22. Don't miss it. It's a great event.
And number 1 in our Fun 5 Things
Wait.
to Fun.
Did you know, before you say this event is the biggest in the entire United States for its type of event.
And what is that type of event? Well, it is the Winterfest Boat Parade. It's at the Seminole Hard Rock, and this is going to be on December 14th at 3 p.m.
Let's show a little bit of video here that we have on the Winterfest Boat Parade. Watch this.
Where can you find the biggest show on H2O? The Seminole Hard Rock Winterfest Boat Parade. Sponsored by WSVN Channel 7, the Winterfest Boat Parade is the 7th largest spectator event in the country and was named one of the top 20 parades in the world by USA Today. For over 4 decades, this holiday tradition has attracted a long list of celebrity grand marshals, thrilling more than 1 million spectators a year, gathered under the stars to watch a dazzling display of boats float along Fort Lauderdale's fabulous waterways. Not to mention millions more watching on television, cable, and streaming online. No wonder Reader's Digest placed Winterfest on their 100 best list.
Well, as we were saying, the boat parade is the largest of its kind in the United States. Hundreds of decorated boats. I understand you might be in the parade.
I might be in the parade. Well, it seems like I have roommates that are part of a group, the Boys with Boats. They go out boating all the time. And my family's coming down. We're going to have a good time to go out on the boat parade. But it seems like I might have a new offer that's coming from the room in here right now to join them in the boat parade. Who wouldn't want to do that? I wonder what the role is that I'll get to play. But as long as it's something where I get to smile and wave.
Do you pursue sponsors 100% of the time, no matter
right.
what?
And if you want to be a sponsor or submit to one of our events, remember to submit at HAPPENING.fun because
That's
we
right.
want to be there.
The boat parade,
All the time.
the Winterfest boat parade, sponsored by the Seminole Hard Rock. We thank them very much for doing that. It is a must-see this weekend, December 14th.
And it's
the
like something you
festival.
can't see anywhere else. It is boats covered in all sorts of different Christmas and holiday garb.
Musical.
Yes.
Comes right up the New River and the Intercoastal. There are many. You can get seats, bleacher seating at Bahia Mar Yachting Center if you would like, and many restaurants and hotels all along the Intercoastal are front row seats.
Right,
It's,
whether you're
it's
gonna
an
be
amazing
in it, or
event.
whether you're going to go watch it from any location, because you can watch all along the riverway. You can bring a date, you can bring your family, you can go solo,
That's
you
right.
can go meeting new
A
people.
prime area to watch is at Hugh Taylor Birch State Park. It's December 14th. The festival begins at 3 o'clock, and it is a must-see event.
Check it out.
All right. So, Napoleon, that is it.
That's it for this week.
We have seen the best things to fun this week. I'm your host, South Florida, Al Ferguson. This is my broadcasting partner at HAPPENING.fun, lifestyle expert Napoleon Plays.
Thank you, Al. That's right. And we know that your time is precious and that you don't want to spend your time going out and finding all the fun things to do. That's why we do that for you, so you don't have to. And if you have anything that you want to be submitted to us, a festival, an event, something else fun that we should be at, make sure to submit at HAPPENING.fun.
That's right. And as we know, all we have to do is turn on the news. It's a serious time. The antidote for seriousness is to have some fun. And that's exactly what we deserve. Thanks to fun. And we're here every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock to help you find those really fun, diverse, and interesting things to do.
Be celebrating.
I suggest be laughing.
I suggest be toasting.
Be cheering.
Be silly.
Be childlike.
Be sexy.
Okay. All right. Those all sound like absolute definitions of what we do at HAPPENING.fun.
Every week.
We are here every week at 7 p.m. Every Wednesday, and we're completely live. Get out and have some fun. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas,
Happy
everyone.
Hanukkah.
Good night.